Hi, folks. It's me again. I'm returning to my channel, and this time I'm going to be resuming my series of giving my own personal thoughts on the last University of Hawaii men's basketball season. Last time I did two games, which was a road trip that UH came away empty-handed at Riverside and Davis. Well, I mentioned I'm going to do a double take, and once again, I'm going to be doing two home games against Long Beach State and Cal State Fullerton. And I'll tell you right now that UH ended up splitting that. And that was a perfect opportunity for UH to get back in first place. But as I said, they split the series, they split the homestand. But before we get started, I'd like to show you my print story. We're coming down to the nitty gritty here. It's the final few weeks. And looking at my Long Beach State game and the Cal State Fullerton game, I thought they were going to come away with two wins again. As it turns out, they came away with one of those two. Once again, my print story. So really, we're going to start my sharing here. Okay. So we'll start with Long Beach State. Hawaii beached by Long Beach State. And what happened there is their home matchup and their road matchup, I should say, UH's road matchup. They came away with the win, but with 15 triples, but they weren't as fortunate here. So you can see right here the sub headline, that's 3 straight losses for UH and 10 in a row for Long Beach State. They were on a hot streak too. And it's kind of hard to defeat the team twice, although this could be a double-edged sword because UH came away with 2 wins over Long Beach State as well last season, both with Long Beach scoring 76 points. And that was a homestand, of course. Right there is my headline. They won't see first place anytime soon, and that was the unfortunate truth. But I will say though, there were some good moments there. And as you can see, the final score was a 9-point loss. But what really hurt them again was turnovers. They ended up with 11 in this one. And that's what really hurt them overall. That hurt them on the road trip. It hurt them here. Having a slew of turnovers there just really decreases your chances at winning. And that's what the football team's going through right now. And as a result, they have yet to win a game, and they've only played 2 games. And it seems like when the basketball team excels, the football team starts to suck. That's what I've noticed anyway. I'm hoping they turn things around, and they should. But anyway, we're not going to talk about football. We're talking about this. The first good part that I noted is the fact that they continuously exceeded 6 triples once again. In their road matchup, UH sank 15 of them. This time they had sank 8. They sank 8 triples to Long Beach State's 4. Noel Coleman, what the hell can you say about this guy? Because this guy can ball, bro. Let me tell you. I'm glad we got him on our team because with 22 points, that was the first time in a while that he'd exceeded 20. But he also had 31 in the Diamond Head Classic, where UH went winless, unfortunately. Noel Coleman, Jerome DeRosier, Kamaka Hepa, these are 3 guys that can really play ball, let me tell you. And the unfortunate part is we won't get Jerome DeRosier back, basically because the NCAA rejected his waiver, and he did have another year to get his master's. But anyway, but this quote here from Noel Coleman, that's what really told the story in the second half. They didn't control their pressure, and they didn't take care of the ball again. And this told the story. They had a 5-2 lead at one point, and after the Long Beach State took it away, they couldn't get it back solidly. And this part, a double technical, that just added insult to injury, from my view. Because the way I saw it, it's like somebody can kind of give you an elbow and then you get called for a foul. That's like totally not justice in my opinion. But they stayed in the hunt with their defense, and that's the one thing about this team that hasn't changed at all. They managed to stay nearby thanks to their defense. But unfortunately, here, this is where they had a big problem here. 11 turnovers. You're not going to get close if you have that amount of turnovers in a single half. And they couldn't put together more than a 5-point run here. And the unfortunate and what made things even worse is the fact that anytime UH made a run, Long Beach State responded. And they tied it 3 times, and then they finally took the lead. When they took the lead, I thought for sure that they could have held on, but I think they were just too streaky with their offense and maybe a bit of defense too. And despite that they cleaned it up in the second half with 4 turnovers here, 15 overall, you're not gonna get wins if you have over 10 turnovers in a half, and this time they did. And Gannett even said so here. We did not defend at all in the second half. And that's kind of like a big surprise, especially when they had a turnover-free second half against UC Irvine earlier this year. But Long Beach State, give them credit. I mean, they're a good team, and they got guys that can play. Like this guy here, Traore, Boubacar Traore. He had a double double. He didn't have that in UH's road matchup, I don't think. So, but Traore, Colin Slater, Romel Mansell, these are guys that can play, especially and Jadon Jones as well, because they got a good front court, they got a good back court. That's probably why Long Beach State won the league this year. Unfortunately, as a good takeaway, once again, UH shot rebounded Long Beach State, but they got to do a little better. But they had to do a little better, and they started to do so, starting with points in the paint, 38-28. When you see a score like that, you get outscored in the paint by double digits, there's like a 50 to 60% chance that you're going to lose that game. Let me tell you. However, it's a 3-game skid after starting out with 7 straight wins, 6 in conference. You think they were going to lay an egg, but I kept believing they wouldn't. And I'll tell you right now, they did not lay an egg this season. And that's a great way to come back. And they came back on a nationally televised audience, nonetheless, against Fullerton at home. So that's it for Long Beach State. So now let's talk about Cal State Fullerton. And as you can see, it says my headline stops the bleeding. Hawaii stops the bleeding with a Fullerton win. That was important. That was a very, very important win for them, because it looked like after starting with 6 straight wins in conference, then it looked like they might drop 6 in a row, but they didn't. They came back, and after this is when I really felt that UH really flipped the switch and prevented them from laying an egg, because they won more games than they lost. Again, they're conference win number 7. And not only did they win, but they won by double digits. And there was another stat in this game that really stood out to me for sure, and cleared the certainly cleared the clouds, at least some of the clouds, at least from my view, on UH's troubles. And once again, they had 8 triples. I believe that Fullerton, they were held to less than 5, I think. But Noel Coleman, 24 points. It's almost impossible for Coleman to have a bad game, just like what Connaught was saying about DeRosier. And Bernardo da Silva coming back. He's a good guy in the paint. Junior Madut with a second career double-double with 10 and 10. And just when I thought that we might have a replay of Long Beach State, UH said, no way. We're not going to have another repeat of that. And they were able to build off of this win. And responding back, and they went on a 12-2 run, and UH responded going with an 8-0 run. That was huge for sure. Because if they just kind of got lackadaisical and let them get away again, that might have added more insult to injury, but they didn't. But this was a big move right here with Junior Madud nailing a triple at the 5:09 mark. They would take the lead and they wouldn't trail again. And the fact that they did not trail again certainly cleared a lot of the clouds with the troubles that UH has gone through. And they proved it right here. UH turned up the pace. Fullerton only makes 1 basket in the final 3 minutes. And to add to that, Noel Coleman stings them with a buzzer-beating triple to give a 6-point advantage. And like Madud said here, we set the tone with our defense. That's what they didn't. That's what they had a hard time doing in those 3 games, setting the tone. Because it seemed like to me that they were just having trouble getting into a good rhythm. And of course, they said that UH is a second half team. And they proved it here with 7 straight points from Jerome DeRosier. And that 7 straight points that then turned into a 17-2 run by the 13:05 mark. That technical foul there on the coach, Dedrick Taylor, that just pretty much added insult to injury for Fullerton. But what really helped out were 2 stats, and I mentioned one of them. I think I said one earlier. There were actually 2. And of course, UH extended the run to 23-5, and they would win the second half, 42-31. Coleman saying they put an emphasis on taking care of the ball. That's exactly what they did, and they cleared the clouds out. But this is the first one here the first stat that really jumps out at me. No Fullerton player exceeded 10 points. That was key. As it turns out, they got a grad transfer, EJ Anasicki. That kid can ball, let me tell you. And they proved it in their tournament semifinal match over UH. And he was held to only 4 points in the loss, 4 points and 4 boards in the loss. And as it turns out, the most they got was 9 points from Latrell Wrightsell Jr. and Jamari Milstead. And for once, UH got the nod over Fullerton on points in the paint because that's what's kind of been killing them a lot. Usually, if you get out-rebounded or outscored in the paint by double digits, there's like a 50 to 60% chance you're not going to win. But if it's between 5 and 10, if it's like between, maybe 5 and 10, then you have a chance. And although they had 7 turnovers, UH had 14. They still started chipping away, but the fact that they set the tone really cleared the clouds in their minds. And they definitely built off of that win. And that's pretty much it. I was very proud that they were able to come away with the win and they were able to get some confidence back. And next time when I return here, I'm going to be doing another double with the UC San Diego game and UC Irvine games. I only covered the San Diego game, but not the Irvine game because someone at Kaleo took some of my workload again. So that's all. But still 7-3. That will be the last time that they would lose consecutive games for sure. And that was a good thing for the Bows. So we'll stop here. So obviously, I definitely hope that you'll stay tuned for that next video. I'm definitely going to try and get that video in early in the week. I'm coming down to the end of the road, and I will be providing a video with my thoughts on where I think UH will finish this season. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now that I think they can finish third again. So for now, we're going to end it here. And I hope you all will join me for that next video where I profile the UC San Diego game and UC Irvine game. So for now, this is Matthew. Thanks for watching. Walamopono. I'll see y'all soon.